If you believe winners are lucky, you already lost before you began, because that belief is the blindfold that keeps you from seeing the battlefield. While you call chance what you don't understand, others execute systems that do not depend on mood, context, or inspiration. Talent without protocol is wet ammunition, and motivation without structure is radio noise. In the real world, the world of money, power, and irreversible decisions, the winner is not the most enthusiastic, but the one who repeats maneuvers when pressure tightens, when the market strikes, and when the ego begs to react. A system turns chaos into order, and order into advantage. The one without a system depends on mood, and the one who depends on mood is already under someone else's control. Sun Tzu was clear: the battle is decided before it is fought, when you organize your inner army and execute without improvisation. If you react, you obey. The stimulus is never innocent, and the one who launches it already chose the frame, the timing, and the trap. When you respond quickly, you think you're in control, but you're only confirming that you were pushed. This is how money, respect, and position are lost. Signing before thinking, answering before measuring. Reaction is an animal reflex, and animal reflexes are predictable. What is predictable can be exploited, bought, and directed. In this modern war of urgent emails and constant pressure, the one who reacts hands over command without noticing. Whoever controls your emotion controls your decision. Sun Tzu knew this well. Provoking is cheaper than defeating, because if they can move you, they already won. Noise doesn't make you visible, it makes you vulnerable. Every unnecessary word is a coordinate you give away. Speaking to fill silence is a live confession of insecurity, while silence compresses, accumulates, and applies pressure. It forces others to project, imagine, and overestimate. Power is not explained, it is perceived. The one who explains seeks permission, and the one who seeks permission has already surrendered ground. While you clarify plans, others calculate distances, timing, and weak points. Sun Tzu understood that the effective operator does not reassure or fill space. He watches the other fracture while trying to read him. What cannot be measured cannot be attacked. If they can read your face, they can direct your life. Emotion is a leak of critical information, and the face reveals intention before the mouth does. In negotiations, crises, or conflicts, the one who loses control hands over immediate advantage. Calm is not passivity, it is armor. The one who remains unshaken cannot be pushed, bought, or frightened. While you confuse expression with authenticity, others seal cracks and keep the front intact. Leadership does not shout, celebrate, or justify itself. It becomes unreadable. Sun Tzu taught that the general who shows no emotion governs the field without firing a shot, because the enemy never knows whether he is winning or walking into a trap. The impatient always pay more. Rushing is not advancing, it is financing the one who waits. Time is not money, it is leverage. The one who delays with intention forces mistakes, discounts, and concessions from others. Modern pressure is manufactured so you give in fast, sign fast, and lose fast. The one who waits sets the rhythm, and the one who sets the rhythm controls the board. Sun Tzu knew that battles are won by exhausting the enemy, not by colliding head-on. While you feel anxiety to close, others accumulate advantage by not moving. Waiting with purpose is not doubt, it is strategic superiority. And if you truly want to master this code, if you want to stop being predictable, stop being reactive, and become impossible to control, then your next step is clear. Watch the mental discipline that makes you impossible to manipulate. Sun Tzu. Because those who always win don't just act better, they think on a level others can't touch. Sharing everything is handing yourself over completely. Information is ammunition, and you fire it without aiming. Plans, numbers, objectives to anyone listening. Others fragment, conceal, and control the flow. The one who knows everything about you doesn't need you. They can replicate or replace you. The real operator understands the core principle of intelligence: need to know. Sun Tzu taught that showing false weakness while hiding real strength confuses the enemy. And in that confusion, victory is achieved without battle. The one who cannot map you cannot attack you. Routine is a hackable pattern. Doing the same thing every time is not discipline, it is exposure. Patterns are learned, anticipated, and ambushed. In modern life, predictability is a slow sentence. Whoever knows how you react already owns you. The strategist introduces calculated variation, changing schedules, responses, and movements, not for chaos, but for control. Selective chaos breaks the calculations of others, while yours remain intact. Sun Tzu understood that the enemy fears the one he cannot predict, because he doesn't know where to defend or when to flee. The one who urgently needs money doesn't negotiate, he begs. Money is not status, it is freedom of movement. The one who lives on the edge doesn't decide, he accepts. Liquidity buys time, silence, and the option to walk away. The one who can leave the table controls the table. He doesn't explain prices or justify conditions. He lets the opportunity bleed until it's worth less. Sun Tzu knew that a well-supplied army does not rush, because urgency is a crack through which the enemy enters. Those who always win do not react and do not explain. That is the code few can tolerate, because it requires killing the ego and the need for validation. The 1% understands this, because they know every reaction is information and every explanation is weakness. While the 99% argue and defend themselves, they observe and execute once. Sun Tzu taught that supreme victory is when the enemy surrenders without understanding how he lost, because the battle took place in the mind long before impact. If they know exactly who you are no longer dangerous. Real threats don't shout or boast. They weigh down the room, cool the air, and force calculation. True power is atmospheric, not verbal. When you enter a room and the tempo drops, you've already taken ground. No one knows what to expect from you, and that uncertainty paralyzes. Sun Tzu made it clear. The supreme war is breaking the enemy's will before combat. When you achieve that, you don't need to prove anything. You simply occupy space and let silence do the rest. The final mistake of the week is believing that winning means being seen. The one who needs applause needs permission, and the one who needs permission is already kneeling without realizing it. That is why the true strategist does not chase recognition, but position, does not chase fame, but control, does not chase validation, but advantage. While others announce their achievements, you accumulate ground. While others celebrate, you calculate. While others relax, you reinforce lines. Modern war is not decided in noise, but in the silence that precedes the enemy's collapse. The one who truly wins does not explain, does not post, does not justify. He simply becomes unreachable, unpredictable, uncomfortable to confront. When your mere presence alters the behavior of others, you are no longer competing, you are governing. And when you govern, you do not rush, you do not react, you do not improvise. You execute while everyone else is still trying to understand what happened. There comes a point when the battlefield empties, not because there are no enemies, but because none dare cross the line. That point is not reached through brute force, but through internal mastery. The one who controls his impulses controls the rhythm, and the one who controls the rhythm decides when everything begins and when it ends. This is where most fall, because they keep reacting, keep explaining, keep defending themselves, while you no longer play that game. You understood that well-used silence is a command, that waiting is a trap, that calm is a weapon. When everyone runs, you stop, you observe, you choose, and you win without urgency and without witnesses. This is not a war to be admired, but to be effective. And if you've made it this far, you already know the uncomfortable truth. Power is not shouted, it is felt. Now that you know it, decide what you're going to do with it, and act in silence.